image comes to your mind when you hear the name of India? Like this or this, right? Because your media mostly present such similar images of India in front of you. Okay, let me show you something different in
It's
your
true.
media.
That's what a lot
If
of
I say this
media
is
does.
India, will you believe me? Maybe not, because most probably you have never seen India in this way. But actually, this is real India which has been hidden from you. The slums, busy and chaotic cities you see on TV or mobile is only a smallest part of India. India is actually pretty normal. And this is the one thing that a lot of people don't understand about India. Okay, let me show you some major cities of India. This is Mumbai. This is Delhi. This is Kolkata. This is Gurgaon. This is Noida. This is Hyderabad. This is Pune. This is Bangalore. This is Chennai. This is Surat. This is Thane. And there are many such modern cities in India. Okay, let's come to the rural part of India, and I'm pretty sure that according to you, the Indian villages are look something like this or this, right? But actually, this is not even 5% part of Indian villages. More than 95% of Indian villages are look something like this. Due to the large population of India, the Indian villages are also so big. Look at this. This is not a city or town, but it's a village called Madhapur, located in the Indian state of Gujarat. After a lot of struggle in 1947, when India got independence from the British Empire, India's economy was only $25 billion. Even in 1991, India's economy was less than the economy of Paris and London.
Wow.
And now India has more economy than the France and the UK. In 2014, India's economy was ranked 10th in the world, but now in 2022, India has become the 5th largest economy in the world with a huge GDP of $3.5 trillion. In just last 8 years, India has overtaken 5 major economies like Canada, Russia, Italy, Brazil, France and the UK, and this is really impressive. India is the fastest growing major economy in the world, and according to IMF, India is set to surpass Germany and Japan to become the world's third largest economy by 2027. India is already the third largest economy in the world in terms of PPP GDP with a huge GDP of $11.7 trillion, and by 2030, India's nominal GDP is expected to be $8.5 trillion, but India's potential is much more than this.
What are they doing?
After the USA, Russia and China, the Indian military is the fourth most powerful military in the world, and with a budget of $76.6 billion, India has the third largest defense budget in the world. Over 1.
Reproducing and building things and making jobs. That's what they're doing.
45 million active personals, over 1.15 million reserve personals, and over 2.52 million paramilitary. The Indian military is the largest military in the world with a total 5.13 million military personnel. India is also a nuclear-armed country. The country is holding some of the most powerful nuclear weapons in the world, such as intercontinental ballistic missiles, Agni 5, Agni 6, K5 and K6, which has a massive range of 5,000 km to 12,000 km. Even some experts say that India hidden a dangerous weapon called Agni 7 or Surya, which has a massive range of 12,000 km to 16,000 km. There are only 4 countries in the world that have anti-satellite weapons, and India is one of them. India has capability to destroy the communication system of any country in the world by destroying their satellite in the space. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, is among the world's top 5 most successful space agencies. ISRO has successfully launched over 386 foreign satellites for 36 different countries, including satellites of USA, Germany, France and the UK, and successfully launched over 134 Indian origin satellites. There are many misconceptions about India have been born in the world, especially in the West, and that's why many people make the mistake of underestimating India. For example, in 2013 when India announced that India will also send its satellite and rover to Mars, the New York Times made fun of India like this. But after in just 1 year in 2014, India became the first country in the world to reach Mars in the first attempt. And just few years later, in 2017, India created an incredible world record by launching 104 satellites from a single rocket, and then India made fun of New York Times like this. This is called sweet revenge. India is among the world's 4 countries that have successfully reached Mars and Moon both. Other are USA, Russia and China. And among the 5 countries that have their own GPS navigation system, other are USA, Russia, China and Japan. After USA and China, India has third highest number of billionaires in the world. As of 2022, India has total 237 billionaires. The Indian stock market is the fastest growing major stock market in the world. Even 2 out of the world's 10 largest stock exchanges are Indian. And India is said to be world's third largest stock market by 2030 with a total expected market cap of over $11 trillion.
Wow.
The world's fastest growing startup ecosystem. In 2014, India had only 400 startups, and as of 2022, India has over 77,000 startups, which makes India globally the third largest startup ecosystem in the world after USA and China, as well as India has third highest number of unicorns in the world. The country is home to the 108 unicorns with a total valuation of $341 billion. India is already among the top 5 most industrialized countries with a total output of $900 billion, and it is said to be third most industrialized country by 2030 with an expected industrial output of more than $3 trillion. Currently, India is the 8th largest exporter in the world. Total export of India was $675 billion in 2021, and the country is on the way to become the third largest exporter in the world by 2030 with an expected export of more than $2 trillion. India is emerging as factory of the world due to its large skilled workforce. Even in 2021, India overtaken USA and became the second most attractive manufacturing destination globally, second only to China. Production. India is the largest producer of tractor, two-wheeler, spice, dairy products, milk, ginger, turmeric and sugar. Second largest producer of smartphone, steel, cement, vegetable, fruit, rice, wheat and cotton. Third largest producer of electricity, renewable energy, gems and jewelry. Fourth largest producer of cars and trucks. The Indian textile industry is the second largest textile industry in the world with a total valuation of over $225 billion. The country is well known as hub of information technology. The annual revenue of Indian IT industry is more than $200 billion, and it is said to be $350 to $400 billion by 2025 and more than $1 trillion by 2030. Also known as the pharmacy of the world, the country's massive pharmaceutical industry is the source of more than 50% of global demand for various vaccines. India is the largest provider of generic drugs globally. Over 40% generic drugs in the USA and over 25% of all medicine in the UK are supplied by India. It is difficult to imagine how world would be able to combat AIDS without India, because globally over 80% of antiretroviral drugs which is using to combat AIDS are supplied by India. Known as the potential superpower, India is the second most populous country in the world and its potential is unlimited. The country has largest young force in the world, more than 50% of its population below the age of 25 and more than 65% of its population below the age of 35. And this young power is helping India to become an economic superpower like USA, China and European Union. But still, if you think that India is a poor country, then let me tell you that Indian household own the largest amount of gold, 25,000 tons to 30,000 tons, which is worth over $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion, and it is more than the economy of Australia, South Korea and Italy. Even Indian temple alone have 4,000 to 5,000 tons of gold, which is worth more than $300 billion and is more than the economy of New Zealand and Finland. Indians are just love golds and jewelry, and that's why India is the biggest consumer of gold, silver, jewelry and gems. Many people in the world, mostly in the West, use HDI and per capita to criticize India, but they forget that India is the fastest growing major economy in the world. Currently, India's HDI is considered in the medium category, which is expected to move to the high human development category by 2025. Even today, 14 Indian states are comes in the high human development category and 13 Indian states are very close to achieve this. And many Indian states have more GDP per capita than the per capita of many European countries. Well, India is 7 to 10 times cheaper than the Europe and America. India is just like China. As China developed itself in the past, today India is developing in the same way. According to recent UN study, the country has left more than 415 million people out of poverty since 2005, and according to World Bank,
That's crazy.
poverty in India has reduced by 12.3% between 2011 to 2019
Yeah.
from 22.5% in 2011 to only 10% in 2019.
It's
And
so
according to
uncommon
recent
to
study
put
of
in here.
IMF, India has almost wiped out extreme poverty. The percentage of people living in the extreme poverty in India is only 0.8% now. The country is home to the rich culture and spirituality. No country in the world as diverse as India. There are 28 states and 8 union territories in India, and they all have their own culture, music, languages, dresses and food. And no country in the world is more colorful than India. Even India has entire colorful cities like Jaipur, the city of pink, Udaipur, the city of white, Jodhpur, the city of blue, Jaisalmer, the city of
That's
gold,
so
and
pretty.
Kanyakumari, the city of 7 colors. India is a whole world itself. India has snow like Greenland, beauty like Switzerland, desert like Arab, wildlife like Africa, beautiful cities like Europe, forest like
Elephants.
Brazil, and mountains like Japan. Even India has a white desert also. 100,000 of beautiful temples,
That'd be
historical
sick.
monuments, incredible architecture
That's
sites,
crazy.
extremely beautiful hill stations like Manali, Nainital, Simla, and Spiti. India is just incredible. India is transforming itself as a global economic powerhouse. The country is home to the highest number of under construction mega projects in the world. Project Bharatmala cost $140 billion. Project Sagarmala cost $130 billion. Project DMIC cost $100 billion. Project 100 Smart City cost $100 billion. These
smart
are
cities.
few big projects out of them. As well as the country is spending a massive amount of $1.5 trillion to modernize and develop its infrastructure. Along with this, seeing the growth of country's urbanization, India is also creating many new and futuristic cities like Gift City, Dholera SIR, and Amravati Smart City. The fastest growing major economy, the fastest growing major stock market, the fastest growing startup ecosystem, healthcare, technology, infrastructure, and industries. India is performing excellent.